Good day everybody and welcome to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me today. The channel where we analyze the EX30. We also talk about the environment, electric vehicles, and a little bit about everything if it comes to electric vehicles and so forth. And we specialize in analyzing the EX30 and what it's all about. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about range. Now it's a very important topic. I do think that this topic on the end of the day gets always pushed under the table or not discussed or not understand properly, but it's very important to understand what you buy, what you're actually getting, and of course what the 480 actually means. So if we look at the EX30, the 480 kilometers that you see online and on the Volvo website, that's definitely city driving. That will not be highway driving. And you're probably going to ask me, Rufus, but I do not understand why didn't they discuss it from a highway and city perspective. But they see it as most people drive around in the cities, so they do not analyze it from a highway perspective or a motorway like they talk about in the United States. So I want to focus today on how important it is and how important this topic is to understand fully and understand exactly what you will be getting. So let's delve into it and talk a little bit about it in a sense from what you will be getting from a faster speed and from a lower speed in the city. So exactly the same with the internal combustion engine or ICE vehicle. It's exactly the same thing. The faster you drive, the more energy you use and the more fuel you burn. It's exactly the same in an electric vehicle. So it's very important to understand. There's sort of, I call it the happy medium or the Goldilocks zone of speed that you can really push your electric vehicle to get as much range as possible. That's not obviously excluding things like the winter driving and generally speaking, cars in the winter do get less. I've tested it myself. It really depends on how you plan. You can actually easily get if you precondition your battery, you can actually easily get the kilometers that you desire if it comes to what you purchase it for. So you know what you've accepted when you've done your purchase. But it's very important to understand where that medium is. So if we look at highway driving and what you will be getting, and we still need to obviously do these range tests and see what we will get with the EX30. But what we should be getting, if it comes to 195, 98, really around about there, 105 even, if you can really push it, you're probably looking at 390 kilometers that you will be getting per charge. That's very good. And then you will do a 26 or half an hour stopover. Look, I do not understand why people go on about this. I do think if you drive 390 kilometers, anyone will need to take a refresher, even if it's going to the bathroom, having a little bit of a snacks, getting your legs stretched. I mean, you don't just spend 5 minutes. You make it worthwhile. And it is an electric vehicle. It's working on a different principle than an internal combustion engine. So it's very important to understand that you've done your long journey. You need to know that electric vehicles is there to get a break, and I personally think it's good for you, it's good for your body on the end of the day to get a nice break and do your charging while you're getting your break. That's the whole idea. And not everybody drives 390 kilometers without getting a break. I think it's literally impossible, but you can do that if you want to, obviously, and then get a quick charge and off you go. So that is, I'm getting back to that because it's very important to understand it, that we are talking about the 95 or the 100 and 105 kilometers an hour that you will be looking at. If we are talking about 120 kilometers an hour speed, then you're probably looking at anything around about 300 to 290, depending on winter, depending on if you're using your you know, your heater or your aircon, whatever the case may be. It's all these extra things. Depends on if you opening your windows. It depends if you're driving up a hill, if you're doing a lot of hills, obviously if you're doing a lot of hills. So with internal combustion engine, you will get exactly the same experience where you will be using more energy or more fuel. It's exactly the same thing. We're not talking about breaking the law of physics. Law of physics still stays the same. So it's very, very important that you guys understand it, and it's also very important that you know what you're getting yourself into if it comes to electric vehicles. Look, it's really it's something to get used to, but it's also, I don't know, it's really it gets so part of you and part of your life that it's everybody needs to take a break at some point. So you might as well do your charge while you're getting your break. That's the whole idea. And like I say, if you are going to do your faster speeds, then you're probably looking at that 270 290 kilometers per charge, and then you do a quick stopover with your charger. It can be arranged from Grid Cars here in South Africa. It can be booked. You don't have to worry about any other cars taking your as long as you get there in that certain time that it's available. Look, I've never done a booking before, but I would assume that they do it in hours that you book, or you can then obviously, you know, book it for the whole day if need be. Probably it really depends on how much bookings they have, but here in South Africa they've got a new booking system. It's just that I would assume that a lot of people is using them a bit more, so they want to keep everybody happy. But yes, so that's everything in a nutshell. We can go into much more detail about it, but I do not think it's an issue. Your car will let you know where the closest charger is and how fast you need to get to the charger. All their range anxiety will be sorted out with the car. The car nowadays the technology is there to help for exactly that reason. So it shouldn't be an issue. So I wanted to just clarify and what you get from a highway perspective, what you were getting from a city, and just on a city. As we were saying before, city is that 70 to 60 kilometers an hour, and then you're looking at getting your 450, 480. Really depends on what you're using. If you go uphill, downhill, whatever the case may be. And remember, with electric vehicles, there's that region as well. So if you uphills, downhills, you will get that energy back with the car you will be driving. So it's awesome with electric vehicles. So I hope that covers it, and enjoy electric driving, and see you in the next one.